And a mighty reception for these two stars of the Green Bays. It's the Rocket against the Thunder for a place in the 2011 Power Snooker Final, and a meeting with the Potter from Pinner, Martin Gould. Who will prevail? The all-important break-off, remember, the player who breaks, unlike the traditional game, has the first crack at the Reds, and that's not half bad, Dennis Taylor.
He's got a little beauty here. He's got the power ball in play. He's got the black available. The pink slightly tied up, but those three Reds are also available into the left corner pocket, and the one that he's going to take the black into. So it's an early opportunity for the Aussie. And the early opportunity, maybe just a little bit of noise. Well, there's a lot of noise around here, and you've got to just concentrate that little bit harder, Phil.
It's one of the facets of this new version of snooker that you've got to blank out the noise. The crowd very much part of this game. They're encouraged to shout and cheer for their favourites, and you've got to have the professionalism to block that out and focus on the ball in hand. Perhaps Neil Robertson losing his focus for a moment there, and how costly could that prove to be? The Rocket back at the table with the power ball, the strike ball to the right of your screen as you look. Invitingly placed. And remember, that ball, when it's spotted, triggers a 2-minute power play when everything counts double.
And immediately he gets himself onto that
16.
Power ball that you mentioned, Phil. Oh, can you believe it? The pressure of the power ball strikes again, and it's gone perfectly safe.
Well, that was extraordinary. You'd have put your mortgage on Rocket Ronnie nailing that one. And a real let-off for the Thunder from down under.
And the very first match, maybe where the power ball is not going to come into play. Certainly the first rack where it's not going to come into play. It's tied up.
O'Sullivan has been involved in two quite magnificent matches to get this far. Beat Ali Carter in a real cracker last night. Knocked in the first century break of the tournament, a 127 after he trailed by more than 100 points from the first rack. And then this afternoon, what a match against the pocket dynamo and former world champion Graham Dott. O'Sullivan prevailing in that one by just 3 points
16.
after a terrific final rack. But this is a brand new game, and Neil Robertson, who's had a slightly more serene passage to the last four victories over Stephen On Fire Maguire and Stephen Lee, is he going to save his best till last? We shall see. Very early stages here. Remember, 30 minutes is the magic number. Whoever has the most points after half an hour's play wins. It's not about who wins the racks or the frames, it's who scores more heavily, and it's Robertson with the early edge.
And this red is available. That's if he can screw in behind it for the same pocket as the black, and he could do. That shot made slightly easier with these terrific fine troughs. Much easier to screw the ball back, much more difficult to control it.
Concentration etched on Robertson's face here. He's got the angle to get up for the power ball. It's going to be the last red to fall. It'll mean the colours count double for whoever can land it.
Oh, he's a little bit straight on it, and if he tries to force it, it won't go in.
Tricky one. Does he play it with pace to get position? Well, he did, and he very nearly fluked it, my goodness, along the bottom rail. But it stayed out. The power ball stubbornly refusing to drop, Dennis. Intriguing start to this second semi-final. 41 Robertson, 16 O'Sullivan, and the power ball and just the colours remaining.
Yeah, we're so used to saying there's just 35 points left on the table with one red left, but there's a lot more than that with double points when the Powerball goes down. Possibility of quadruple points. So there is a possible break of over 60 still on here. If someone can knock that Powerball in, and this might be a chance. Can he get past the blue to the potting angle? He can.
Here it goes. It's the Rocket who strikes first and triggers the power play. 2 minutes to double your money. And already
14.
the pink down. That's worth 12 in a power play. Sullivan won't hang around here. A minute and 42. That's more than enough for the Rocket, who's made a 147 in 5 minutes to mop up the colours.
What's the secret of anything, Phil? It's timing, and he always seems to be able to time it with that Powerball, getting double points here, and he's going to give himself an early advantage.
Edges into the lead with that brown that counts double. 8 points instead of 4. Lively start to this second semi.
42.
Acres of time left in the power
54.
play. He's got a minute to pop this black. He'll need seconds. In it goes. And it's Rocket Ronnie, the defending power snooker champion, who has the early edge after rack 1.
Thanks.
He leads by 84 points to 41. Now, Dennis, the magical Powerball, the key ball in this new version of snooker, absolutely refusing to go down in the early stages.
The black was hindering him slightly, and I think he just lost his concentration there. So that was a sitter he missed. This was a tough one, really. But in the end, it was Ronnie who managed to get that important Powerball in, and that's why he's got a 43-point advantage.
Pensive-looking Robertson there. We've had plenty of fun and games over the last 2 days here at Event City in Manchester, but things are getting serious now. Remember, there's the not too modest prize of £25,000 for the winner.
Thank you,
later
Ronnie,
this evening. 15,000 for the runner-up. And of course, the prestige of being crowned Power Snooker champion. So Sullivan has tasted that success 12 months ago. He would love to be lofting that trophy above his head once more. But Robertson, the super competitive Aussie, will have something to say about that, I'm sure.
One.
It's a pretty good chance. The Powerball is in play there. The pink's tied up, black not ideally placed, just off its spot. He's on the Powerball here, but will he take it because of the situation of the black? No, he's going to bring the pink into play first.
Smart shot from O'Sullivan.
7.
He's done it throughout the last 2 days. He hasn't rushed to get on the Powerball. He's waited for the right opportunity.
Well, the ability to think clearly under pressure has been a feature of snooker throughout the ages, but it's especially keen here in power snooker. We saw in the previous match turn into a terrific semi between Selby and Gore, where Mark Selby constructed a fantastic break of 162, but as he admitted afterwards, he did have a chance, if only he thought of it,
13.
of playing one of the final colours from the power zone, which might just have given him a sniff of pipping Martin Gould. And it's that ability to think under the keenest pressure and under time pressure that separates the winners from the runners-up in this format, Dennis.
Well, he just played a super long red because he played to get on the red that he's just leaning over, and he didn't, and he pulled a cracking shot out, and in goes the Powerball.
There's another power play. Once again, it's the Rocket who's monopolising this magical 2 minutes when everything counts double. He's looking in the mood again, is Ronnie O'Sullivan, 3-time world champion, of course,
33.
former world #1, widely regarded as the finest natural talent this game has ever
35.
produced, and he's showing some of it right now as we reach the business end of this terrific tournament.
He's still got
47.
a minute Just over 20 seconds remaining. Oh,
49.
he almost missed that one. He stopped in his tracks there. I think this red passes the other red, so he's okay after potting this pink.
Yes, pursed the lips as that one wriggled in the jaws, but it went down, that's all that matters. And he's still got over half of the power play to go here, Dennis.
In fact, the other red wouldn't pass the red, so he's played for the more difficult one, and he didn't get into that. He should have been nicely on the black. This is a tough pink.
O'Sullivan on 147. That's the score coming into big snooker fans, and what a shot there. He's made that look as easy as shelling peas. Trust me, it wasn't. Sheer genius.
77.
Well, we've had 3 centuries so far in this year's Power Snooker Masters. Ronnie's had one of them. Mark Selby, that magnificent 162 that just left him short.
89.
Well, we're in the early stages of this match. We've still got 2/3 of it to go, but Neil Robertson, if he didn't know before, will know he's in for a very tough evening, because Rocket Ronnie is right in the mood this evening, and it's poetry in motion, Dennis.
That positional shot there to pop the black and judge that to perfection.
107.
The power play about to stop, but that won't matter. Ronnie will just clear these up and give himself a terrific advantage.
And seemingly in the blink of an eye, this lead has become something of a chasm. It's in excess of 150 points now, with O'Sullivan still at the table, with power to add. And it's turning into a bit of an exhibition here. This is vintage O'Sullivan, and this is why so many fans flock to see him. He is something special. Pink stays out.
O'Sullivan 122.
And not only stays out, it stays safe, which is to Ronnie's advantage. A little snooker here would help the thing, and that's pretty good.
Thanks.
We've seen what happened with Mark Selby and how many points you can pull back if you can get in amongst them. And it's Neil Robertson's break off, so this semi-final not all done and dusted just yet.
Certainly not, no. That's the beauty of power snooker. We saw extraordinary shifts of momentum earlier in the match between Dot and O'Sullivan, when O'Sullivan led early by 50 odd points. Dot came back to lead by more than 100, but it wasn't enough, because the Rocket really turned on the style in the closing stages. And with 18 minutes and more still to play, this is far from over. If Robertson gets his chance, he's more than capable of responding in kind, but he needs these 2 balls off the table and as quickly as possible. Oh, what a cracking pot that is. He's known as a great single ball potter, is the man from Melbourne. And let's check out the position on this black. This could be one for the memory. Oh, well, unlucky, but it was a great pot, Dennis.
Well, he did try the double there.
Neil Robertson 6.
But the pink was a beauty.
206. O'Sullivan plays 47. Robertson. The Rocket's in charge here. And even Rocket Ronnie getting the old pantomime boo, and that really is irony in the extreme. and a right smile. I don't blame him, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, if they're booing Ronnie, it's a bit of fun, because I'm sure there can't be a couple of hundred Aussies in this crowd, I don't think.
O'Sullivan and negativity are not words you hear in the same sentence, I can promise you that. Now that's not a half bad shot on the black, a tremendous cut there from distance. O'Sullivan finishing as he started with a flourish. The Rockets in charge here, make no mistake. We still have more than half the match to run, but with a place in the semi-finals up for grabs, he really has made a statement of intent, has Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan. He leads Neil Robertson, the Thunder from down under, by 213 points to 47. And let's just see some of the genius that is Rocket Ronnie in action here. Poetry in motion at times during this rack, Dennis.
Yeah, he just missed that red by a fraction to get nicely onto the pink, and those little stun shots. Another one here coming up, back off the cushion. But this shot, this wasn't easy by any means. He just stroked it into the middle pocket as if it was over that particular pocket. This was the shot here I mean, how he judged the pace of the table to just slide off the two cushions and onto the yellow perfectly. That was the best positional shot probably of the tournament. All important now, the breakoff shot for the Australian.
Here we go again then. Rack 3 in the second semi-final. The prize, a match against Martin Gould for the trophy a little later on here on ITV4. And how has the break gone for the Thunder?
He might have to take the power ball on the opening shot, and he could get onto the black, but it's a tough one into the middle pocket. So here we go, an early key shot. He's running through for the blue, but it's still tough.
He's nailed it. And that brought a smile to Robertson's face. You need something to get going for him here.
Tried to get on that blue, but the pace of the table caught him out, so it's change of plan. Green and back up to the reds.
Remember, this green counts double, so it's 6 instead of 3 in the power play.
8.
Needs to be quick here. He can take a red into the left corner and leave the black for the same pocket, but he can't hang around. In fact, he's taking the one to the middle. Oh, you better make your mind up. You've only got 10 seconds left.
Oh my goodness, well, he wanted a thin cut, but not that thin, Dennis.
I think he started to panic a little bit because he knew he was running out of shot clock time.
What an opportunity he's presented here with O'Sullivan in the form he's in. That could be a fatal error. He's already 150 and more to the good is O'Sullivan.
2.
Half the match still to run.
That's probably the worst positional shot that Ronnie's played over the last couple of days. Tried to get on the black there and misjudged that completely.
But what a recovery.
When you can pot like that, what does it matter?
He really is in the mood
30
tonight.
seconds of power play left.
Well, Sean Murphy said earlier on in one of our little features that when this guy is at his best, he is, in Murphy's words, unstoppable.
14.
And at the moment, it's a bit of an O'Sullivan tidal wave heading fast in the direction of Neil Robertson.
28.
He's absolutely
30.
on his A game right now. There's another 14 points as time runs out in the power play. And O'Sullivan is running away with this semi-final.
45.
Well, there's a stat, isn't it? Power play points in this semi-final. O'Sullivan 206,
52.
Robertson just 8. That tells its own story.
53.
And the little pieces with the players and the profiles. When it comes to Ronnie, he says, I love power snooker. And we can see why.
He wasn't kidding, was he? Terrific
60.
entertainment here for this packed crowd in Event City here in
61.
Manchester. They are being royally entertained by the Rocket at his finest.
The red still goes to the middle, I feel. The cannon didn't
68.
work out as he intended. I think it passes the pink. You can just drop this in. Beautifully played. Absolutely spot on.
69.
Well, he could pop them with his eyes closed when he's in this mood. He really is lapping up the atmosphere, relishing the pressure of trying to retain his power
75.
snooker title, which he won in such style 12 months ago. Eager to hold on to that trophy.
He's overscrewed that. He's in the pocket.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 75.
Something of a lifeline then for Neil Robertson, but he's trailing by over 200 points here, 227 to be precise. Just 13 minutes and 18 seconds left. He has got to make a move, and he's got to make it now.
4.
Looking a little bit subdued now, Robertson. He really has been hit by a train this evening.
Thank you.
Purposely leaving
7.
himself in the power zone there to get double points on the brown. And again leaving himself
15.
in the power zone to try and get 10 points if he can pot the blue.
Well, that shows he's still thinking clearly. That's a good sign. And it's a terrific pot as well. He was rewarded for his bravery there. He needs plenty more of them though.
31.
He needs to get in first in the next rack to put the pressure back on the rocket.
38.
And he's made a start. Clawed back some of the arrears, but he still trails by 189 points. It's a big lead for O'Sullivan, particularly O'Sullivan in the form he's displayed this evening. The man in your picture has been majestic so far. And with 12 minutes and 22 seconds remaining, it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who leads by 288 points to 99.
Yeah, he took too long on that, put himself under pressure and went for that difficult cut and just hit it far too thin. He almost missed it.
Yes, you just saw the red move off its axis by a millimetre as he brushed the side of it, but he needed a much firmer contact to pop the ball, and that proved costly. The crowd cranking up the noise. There's plenty of pressure out there as well, but O'Sullivan is certainly responding to it so far. Damien Hirst in the crowd. Big fan of O'Sullivan's, big friend of O'Sullivan's.
O'Sullivan to break.
Often seen at the big venues cheering on this mercurial snooker star. And, well, from one artist to another, because O'Sullivan this afternoon and this evening really has been something special.
And the power ball is over the middle pocket.
7.
Ronnie's potted one off the break a few times. You don't really want to do that, but it's okay as long as you drop on a colour. When he can pot both these reds, he almost changed his mind to cut the other one in.
8.
Still a huge amount of time left in power snooker terms, 11 minutes and 43, but you already feel as though it's looking a bit terminal for Neil Robertson, who spent most of his time in this match
15.
in his chair, watching and admiring. Not much
16.
you can do about it when the rocket's in this mood. So measured, so precise, got a lovely
23.
rhythm around the table.
24.
No, he doesn't dash around the table. It's a measured pace that he has. And he just falls into position, just automatically falls into position every time he comes to the table.
31. 33. Power play.
Power play, 2 minutes, double points, double the agony for Robertson. And this could yet turn into a bit of a landslide.
43. 45.
This could well be the highest scoring match so far, Phil.
Well, still 10 minutes and more to go, and already O'Sullivan 333. He's heading to a score of
51.
well in excess of 400 the way things are going.
53.
Mark Selby earlier in the day almost reached the 400, 399 he scored.
Well, he likes setting records, does O'Sullivan. 11 maximum breaks in his
67.
professional career.
69.
And I remember he told me once, after he won one of his 3 world titles, that when he's playing as he feels he can make the balls talk. And on that basis, well,
83.
they've been loquacious in the extreme this evening. He is absolutely the master out there. And even the snookers
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
pose no
83.
problem for the rocket in this mood.
5 seconds left in power play.
That's why he's renowned as one of the best potters we've ever had in the game, the left-hander.
Terrific long pot from Robertson, but he needs lots more of those. 268 points behind at the moment, and that was nearing desperation. He's got to do something pretty spectacular now to stop the rocket in his tracks. Power play over, but it's almost an irrelevance now for O'Sullivan. Such is his lead. Is there any way back here for Robertson, Dennis?
Well, he's got to get this over with as quickly as possible and just hope that he can get in early on and get that power ball in play. That is the only slight possibility, but will it happen?
How's he judged the weight of this attempted escape at the snooker? Answer to perfection. Can do no wrong at the moment. Good pot though from Robertson.
2.
Not the position he...
Power zone.
Well, I say that, not ideal position. He is in the power zone. He has got an angle on the green to take the ball around the angles here. But he's got that
Robertson 2.
all wrong.
O'Sullivan 8.
And Ronnie could get 6 here for the green, and if he gets nicely on the brown, he can get 8 for the brown. So he can score an extra 14 points with 2 pots here. There's the 3. Now watch the cue ball. Look at that
6.
for a positional shot. You think he's got the pace of this table?
Just a bit. Perfect. Angle on the brown. Well, he released the blue.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 6.
Forgot about the brown. But it's almost already, with still a sizable 7 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, like a damage limitation exercise here for Robertson. Ambitious attempted cut into the right centre, overcut. £280 points the difference.
Look at this shot he's attempting.
Oh.
Have a look at this shot. Loads of left-hand side. You don't see many better positional shots than that. And it was effortlessly played. That was superb.
We're witnessing something special here at Event City this evening. The full arsenal of O'Sullivan's talents out on display, and the crowd are absolutely gripped by what they're seeing. It may not be a close match,
22.
it may not be a nail-biting semi-final, but for pure snookering excellence, it's hard to beat. O'Sullivan, the superstar, is dominant. 6.5 minutes still to go, but he leads by a mammoth 302 points, does the Rocket. It's O'Sullivan 407, Robertson just 105. And now we get another look at what was a supreme pot, Dennis.
Well, he had loads of left-hand side, and when the white hit the side cushion, you could see it spinning there with the dots on the cue ball. First player to score over 400, and there's still over 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes to be played.
Well, if O'Sullivan gets in at the start of this next rack, it could be anything, couldn't it? And Robertson, I'm sure right now, feels like he's playing for pride.
There you go, Neil. Thank you, Neil Robertson to break.
He'll be desperate to show this crowd what he can do. He's had precious little opportunity to do so thus far, and that is down almost entirely to the brilliance of his opponent.
Well, he's got a chance here if he can get through to the red, to the right of the black. And he can get red, black, and then onto the power ball. Oh, he's left himself hampered slightly, so he can't play on the power ball this time. He can only just roll this in. Well, no, it's not hampering him too much, but he could still only roll it in, so must get on the power ball after this next shot. He's got to get on the black nicely.
9.
And that's perfect. You can stun in behind the power ball, and then let's see if he can make a little bit of a run and excite this crowd here, who have been marvellous over the last 2 days.
Well, the Aussies are well known for never giving in, whatever the situation. You can be sure Robertson won't. He wasn't crowned 2010 World Snooker Champion for nothing. He's tenacious, make no mistake about it, and he will battle to the last ball.
32.
270 the difference.
34.
Make that 268. Remember, the ball's counting double in the power play.
Well, that's released another red, but it's not going to be easy. The reds are not
48.
perfectly placed by any means. He might be able to free another one here. If he pots this, he could cannon another red.
50.
That brings another one into play, and it's a tricky black now that he's faced with, but he's got the reds in the open.
Huge pressure on this one. It's got to go down from Robertson's point of view. And it's hit the far jaw and stayed out, and with that missed pot,
1 minute 5 in power
has
play.
Robertson missed his last opportunity to pull off what would be a miraculous comeback. Lots of pressure on that shot. Wasn't an easy one. And O'Sullivan looks set to punish him again.
2.
Just 4 minutes and 20 seconds now remaining, and it's still a huge lead that the Rocket enjoys. And just look where
16.
the balls are placed. Bought colours on their spots, a couple of reds in the open.
18.
Still in the power play, of course. It's all over bar the shouting.
Yes, and we've had plenty of shouting here at Defensively.
We have
30.
the crowd very much playing their part in this new brand of the game. They're
32.
integral to its success, and my goodness, it has been a success.
Watch this left-handed. Watch the position. Now look at this shot, played with the opposite hand. I mean, that is just
42.
terrific. I don't think he can reach this. He needs the rest, but
He does feel like an unstoppable force when he's in this mood. Nothing seems remotely difficult. Anyone who's played this game will know how tough it is, but O'Sullivan has a knack of making it look ridiculously easy.
42.
And with all the colours on their spots, he's fast heading
3 days.
towards the magical 500-point mark. That'll be a first in power snooker terms. Not happy with that positional shot, such as the perfectionist that he is, but he's got a nice hit there. Dennis, he can do no wrong.
and he's getting 4 points because he's in the power zone. Can't beat a little bit of a
54.
run of the ball, but it was immaterial. The match was over, but great to watch.
So often it's the case when you're playing so well that
57.
you get the odd rub of the green to go with it, just to compound the pain for your opponent. If Martin Gould is watching backstage, he'll know what a battle he's got on his hands
61.
in our final coming up later.
Look at that shot there, another exhibition shot. He just loves entertaining a crowd, does this player. And there's another one. If he misses the black, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be
66.
perfect. Look at this shot as well.
Well, we're running out of adjectives here for O'Sullivan's display. Here's another trick shot.
72.
There's a different way of getting position on the final black, but he's done it. It's a tricky one, but you wouldn't bet against him in this mood, potting it. Thin cut. Oh, he's gone for the centre. Is it in? Is it in? It's close. Not quite.
72.
But that just makes life even harder for Neil Robertson, who's already facing an insurmountable task. The black, not potable. Well, unless he pulls off a top tap double here, Dennis.
I don't blame him for trying a little trick shot. He didn't get close. He needs to practice that one.
Foul. And a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 7.
Another rack
O'Sullivan
over.
7.
Another superlative exhibition of potting from Ronnie O'Sullivan, who is moving irresistibly towards a place in tonight's Power Snooker 2011 final, where Martin Gould awaits. It's a bit of a landslide here in the second semi. O'Sullivan supreme. He leads by 493 points to 155 with just 1 minute and 26 seconds remaining. And we're going to get the chance to see some of this brilliance from the cue of the Rocket in slow motion. Poetry in slow motion, I'd venture to suggest, Dennis.
And there's the pot from the break-off. Not that he's intending to do that, but it shows that you can pot one from the break-off. Let's see if he can get close to potting one this time. You're not really intending to pot one, you just want to open them up nicely.
O'Sullivan to break.
Well, a huge contrast to his quarter-final match against Graham Dott, which went to the wire. O'Sullivan just edging past the Pocket Dynamo by 3 points. This evening, it's just been an exhibition from the three-time world champion against the 2010 world champion, who really hasn't had a sniff. And just to underline the point, Powerball already down. He's finishing with a flourish, is O'Sullivan.
Now that takes him past the 500 mark. 30 minutes play, not quite up yet, and he scored over 500 points. How many times will you see that?
18.
How many more can he add? That's the only question left to be answered. The result long since known here. Well, there's a surprising miss. Just took his eye off the ground.
No, I think he's gone, Phil. The pressure's got to Ronnie.
He's rocking.
Oh, look at this. I like that. Yeah, the man from down under. Go on, Neil. Have a bit of fun. The crowd love this.
Well, still proud of his Aussie heritage, even though he's taken a bit of a hammering here this evening as Robertson, wearing the corked hat to remind him of home. He'll be heading there pretty soon because he's been outclassed tonight by a simply supreme display from the greatest natural talent that snooker has ever produced. Ronnie O'Sullivan, with the seconds counting down, wraps up the most emphatic of victories in the second power snooker semi-final, and many of the crowd on their feet, and that, I can tell you, is a richly deserved accolade for Ronnie O'Sullivan, who has simply dazzled the crowd with half an hour of some of the finest snooker, power or otherwise, that you could ever wish to see. It's O'Sullivan through to the final. It's Rocket Ronnie against the Potter from Pinner in the final. O'Sullivan against Gould coming up after victory over Robertson by 519 points to 157.
Neil, if I can bring you to the table, you just couldn't seem to get a look in there, could you? What do you think the pivotal turning moment of the game was?
I just didn't make the most, when I was breaking off, I just didn't make the most of it, and any sort of mistake I made, Ronnie scored a lot of points from it. I think, 519 points, that's easily the most scored this week, so.
Well, talking about Ronnie scoring lots of points, the first player to surpass the 400-point mark, and you tallied up a points of over 500. Are you upping the game for the semi-final?
Pardon?
Are you upping your game for the semi-final?
No, I tried hard in my last match, but it's just the way the balls go sometimes, and the balls fell nice to me, and I just got lucky today.
And you decided to go up for one. Thank you very much, both of you. Congratulations, Ronnie.
Mightily impressive. Someone just born to do what they do. Ronnie O'Sullivan is extraordinary when he's